Hey guys, this is Don with USA Investments. I'm going to do a short interview process. I'm going to be both sides of it, so bear with me on this. Interviewer, tell me what motivated you to get started in real estate. Well, what motivated me to get started in real estate was the bills I couldn't pay. At the time I got started, I owed $24,000 to the IRS. I couldn't pay 22,000 back child support. I was working in a metal shop for $7 an hour. I was barely being able to keep my lights on, let alone pay my rent. Had an old junk pickup that I drove that I paid $125 for. And so I was searching a way to make money. And I came across a few ads about real estate. I always knew real estate was the right way to make money, but I didn't have any formal training in it. So I took a couple courses in real estate and started my journey in real estate. What do you consider a really good advantage you had over other people in real estate? Oh, well, one thing that helped me was I was broke, and anything I did would add money to my weekly budget. I was at the point in my life I didn't think it was possible to pay off my debt while still producing a living. I figured I would die with the IRS debt and child support debt and everything. I was in my 40s. Okay. And the thing that really motivated me was just being so broke that, I was getting tired of living week to week. Tired of worrying about whether the lights got shut off, whether I had the money to pay it. And then the other question is, what was the point in your investing career that you thought you turned a corner in investing in real estate? And I'd have to say my first year in real estate, after I got through with the courses that I took, I had a goal to try to get 12 properties per year. I thought that was a heck of a goal, and being I didn't have any money and only made $7 an hour, I thought if I could achieve 12 properties the first year, I would have something accomplished, and that's what my goal was. Turns out the first month I started looking and I found a duplex from an attorney. He was asking $15,000 for it. It was on a rent to buy land contract. I cut a deal for $600 down and $232 a month for two apartments, two one-bedroom apartments. One of them was occupied. The other one needed work. I didn't really have the money for the supplies I needed to rehab the other one, so I had previously been a roofer, and I had an old compressor. It was about wore out and a couple nail guns, and I wasn't currently roofing at the time, so I ran across a friend of mine that wanted to know if he could borrow the nail guns and compressor. I said, why don't you just buy them from me? I said, I'd give you a good deal. So I gave him the two nail guns and the hoses and the compressor for $600 so he could go do a roofing job, and that gave me $600 for material to work on a property. When I closed on that property, I didn't have $600 altogether because, like I said, I only made $256 a week plus my bills. So what I did was, originally when I met the gentleman, I put $250 down, and then I owed him another $350 on the 15th of the month. I met him towards the first of the month, so I closed on the 15th of the month, thinking that when I closed with the $600 down on the 15th, he'd owe me the portion of the tenant's rent, but that didn't work out. But it ended up being a good deal for me. That particular deal, I owed $15,000 on it. After I later on got my credit straightened up, on the closing of that property, when I took it back to the bank and refied it, I pulled a $54,000 loan on it. He got paid on the $15,000. Part of my child support and part of my IRS liens got paid on the rest of it. between that and another property I'd bought on contract, I was able to pay off all 50-some thousand in bad debt and still cash flow the property. So if it hadn't been for real estate, I wouldn't have been able to really get out of debt where I could start moving and actually making some real money. That was one property, the 1215 South Jefferson. The next property was right across the street. It was a fourplex I saw for, rent to buy. And I looked it up and the guy wanted 2,000 down. Well, I didn't have 2,000. But after I got the top apartment rented on the other side, I had an extra 1,000, counting the deposit and everything. I put 1,000 down on the fourplex, which was a $48,000 property, and then my payment was $700 a month on that, and then there was one apartment occupied out of four, so as I got them occupied, I got their deposits and first month's rent, and was able to pay another 1,000 in addition to my payment the third month, and that's how that one financed. So when you negotiate on a land contract, you got to negotiate when you think you'll have the money, and the main thing is negotiate in good faith and keep your deals with the people. That was the second one I bought on land contract. So right there on the first two deals, I had a 48,000 on land contract and a 15,000 on land contract. And that was all within the first 3 months of me getting investing in real estate. So I had 60,000, 63,000 I was in debt on those two, and the profits on them were somewhere around 2,000 a month profit minus what my expenses was on them. So I had 6 units on 2 properties. I was making about 2,000 a month profit on them. Then the next month, I ran across a 3-plex that needed rehab, and I picked it up for 4,000 cash. And by picking it there again, I used a short-term contract, 90 day. I put 1,000 down and then paid it off in 90 days for 3,000. That particular 3-unit, one of the apartments rented for 135, another one rented for 99 a week, and another one rented for 125 a week. So on that one, had 125, 135, and 99, which was 359 a week times 4.3 weeks in a month. 359 a week times 4.3 weeks in a month was grossing $1,543. My overhead was about $600 because I paid utilities on it. So I was making $900 a month off of that one. So by the 4th month I was in business, still owed my debt, like I said, to the IRS child support, but I had $2,900 a month income. In addition to the factory job I still worked at that I made $7 an hour at. So you can see how real estate changed my life, and it was a matter of having a burning desire and a willingness to call through the ads. I checked the newspapers, Craigslist, and everything like that. And from there, it just went on from there. I hit my goal of 12 properties within 6 months, okay? So you say, well, gee, did you stop investing? Yes. And I have to be honest with you. No, when I hit my goal in 6 months, I reset my goal. I ended up with 18 properties the first year. Okay. It just depends on your energy and your motivation. And a lot of it's time management, realizing, okay, if you take a day, you got 24 hours in a day times 7 days, you got 168 hours in a week. Okay, I took Sundays off, so that left me 144 and 144 hours a week. I worked 52 hours a week in the factory. That left me 92. I usually slept about 6 hours an evening, 6 hours a day. So 6 times 6, subtract 36 hours off the 92. That left me 56 hours. You figure eating and bathing and stuff, you take another couple hours a day off for that for relaxation and stuff. So 2 times 6 would be another 12 hours off of that 56. That leaves you 44 hours. So what I'm trying to tell you is it's not so important that you have to hold down a job. It's what you do with your excess time. I was able to find 44 hours a week to work for myself in real estate on top of holding down a 52-hour-a-week job, okay? Now, it's not exciting and anything like that, but one of the things I did too while I was taking my course was I took a short course in property management. What that did was teach me how to handle my tenants, okay? So in property management, once I had that down and I was used to handling my own tenants about 6 or 8 months, I ran a small ad. I'll manage your property. If you need help managing your property, give me a call. And I started getting calls that way. The first customer called me up. He had about 8 properties. Back then, I was charging 5% per month on each property I managed, plus whatever maintenance and repairs. I was charging 5% a month on, say, $600 a month property times 5% for collecting the rent. I made $30 a property. He had 8 of them. I was making about $240 a month off of managing his 8. But what I wasn't counting on was the repairs and maintenance, and I had a flat fee back then at $15 an hour. Like if I mowed the lawn, I got charged $15 an hour for each hour I had in lawn mowing or painting or clean house or whatever. So that particular customer ended up averaging about $800 a month in additional repairs that he needed because his stuff was pretty dilapidated, and the reason he hired property management because he knew it was going to need repaired and he didn't have the time to mess with it. But the property management took off. The next customer had 4 units. He had about $1,800 in rent per month. I was getting 5% of that, and I charged him a flat $25 every 2 weeks to mow the yard there. So you can see how getting involved in real estate helped my $7 an hour paycheck. If this is something you're interested in, you might want to give me a call at 765-896-9410 or email me at investorlandlord@gmail.com and I'll put you on my training site. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.